an arrest. There was little further news for over a year before a dramatic turn of events when, at 8 a.m. on the morning of the 28th of May, 1998, 16 months after Marsha went missing, Colin Wray was arrested on suspicion of murder and the family home at Forest Lane cordoned off. A major incident room was set up in Harrogate, and a search of the family home commenced. Over 40 officers spent the next few days searching the home, with tents erected over the driveway and garden to shelter officers from the falling rain as they searched with sniffer dogs and dug in the garden. Officers took soil samples for forensic analysis and used a radar device to detect buried objects, but later confirmed only pipes had been found. A police spokesperson stated that officers have been collecting all sorts of evidence. We are looking for all sorts of things. Some of it is specific, and with other things it is just whatever we find. It could be any number of items. However, 3 days after his arrest, Colin was released from custody without charge, and the search of the home ended without making any significant finds, at least that have ever been released to the public. Colin has always protested his innocence in his wife's disappearance. Some months after his arrest, around the 2nd anniversary of Marsha going missing, Belinda and the police held a press conference appealing for information. Colin later spoke to local media from the family home he still lived in with Philippa and Robert, saying that he had not been forewarned the press conference was to take place. He again maintained his innocence, saying he did not know whether Marsha was alive or dead. He stated his hope that she would contact family or police, asked her to contact her mother, and said that the telephone number at the family home remained the same if she wished to ring there. He claimed that he and his children had always cooperated with the inquiry, and he had told them absolutely everything I could think of, outlining how he had allowed police access to all of the family's medical records and had given a voluntary blood sample. He went on, "They have searched our home from top to bottom, and a lot of property has been taken away. The garden has been dug up, and they took all our financial records for inspection. I have not changed anything in the house, and her car is still here. I've just had its service and MOT done. There's nothing more we can think of to do." He stated that he and the children had just returned from a holiday to the Algarve before his arrest, and whilst he had been advised he would be under suspicion, he maintained that he had nothing to hide. Even the children's bedrooms had been searched, which appears to have upset the children, and Colin confirmed that the police did speak to the children about the events surrounding their mother's disappearance at this time. Another search and dashed hopes. In January 1999, police searched an area of Scotton Woods, close to the car park at Nid Valley Gorge, where Marsha's car had been seen in late January 1997 after a dog walker reported finding an unusual depression in the earth, which could potentially have been a grave. However, despite a full search by detectives and specialist scientists, no remains or any evidence of Marsha was recovered. Whilst disappointed, police reiterated their commitment to the inquiry and their hope that other people who felt they had relevant information would continue to come forward. Colin, however, gave an interview to the media criticizing police for not advising him and the family of the lead before the search took place, stating, "The first thing I would have known is when I saw it in the papers, or when the children's friends told them about it at school. Nobody told me at all. I would have thought it was reasonable practice just to let us know this was going on, more for the kids, so they don't hear about it first at school, but we were not informed." In the interview, he reiterated his hope that Marsha was alive and would come forward, saying, I hope that she is alive somewhere, wherever that may be. But if she is dead, we just want her found, so we know what has happened, and we can at least start to get on with our lives. If she is alive and able to do so, I would plead with her to contact her own mother and let her know that she won't be back. The next news of the case came in 2001, when the body of a female was discovered in Lindley Woods between Harrogate and Otley, around 9.5 miles from the Wray family home in Harrogate. Despite initial speculation that the body could be Marsha, it quickly transpired that it was actually 16-year-old Leanne Tiernan, who had disappeared from Bramley in Leeds in November 2000. On the 23rd of August 2001, Colin was again interviewed by the press, claiming that the discovery of Leanne has renewed his hope for news on Marsha. He talked about how Marsha's car and belongings were still at the family home, but that I was not even told that this body had been found. I haven't had any contact with the police for a long time, and we're just trying to get on with our lives now. 27 years on, and still unsolved. Key questions. 27 years on from Marsha's disappearance on a wintry January Yorkshire morning, her murder still remains unsolved and has become the longest unsolved cold case on North Yorkshire Police's books. The case is now overseen by North Yorkshire Police's Cold Case Review team. A cold case review was launched in 2013 with the hope that new technologies could help solve the case, but no significant progress has been announced and no further arrests ever made. Police have advised that long-term inquiries, such as this case, are subject to regular evaluation, and any new piece of information reported to police will always be fully investigated. The key to resolving Marsha's disappearance seems, police believe, to lie with the local community. A senior officer in charge of the investigation in the early 2010s believed people in the community have been asked to lie for the killer, or provide a false alibi, and have relevant information which could significantly assist the inquiry. The same officer hypothesized that Marsha was killed the day of her disappearance, before either the killer or someone helping them put her car at Nid Valley Gorge Car Park, possibly to give the impression Marsha had committed suicide or had an accident there. The key to the case may well lie in how her car then got from the car park to Leeds. Who moved it there? When? And why? Where was the car between the end of January and it being seen in Holland Lane in February? And if Marsha is dead, where is her body? It is notable that, on leaving the children's school on the morning of her disappearance, Marsha was seen to turn left in her car. The most direct route to the family home would have been to turn right, as would the most direct route to Nid Valley Gorge Car Park, where her car was later seen. So why did Marsha turn left that morning? It is possible she was turning left simply to avoid turning right across oncoming traffic, the UK driving in the left-hand lane. There would have been a fairly quick and easy route home, having done so. However, it raises the possibility that Marsha was planning on meeting someone that morning, somewhere other than her home or Nid Valley Gorge. If so, who and where that may have been remains a mystery. The picture painted of Marsha in the lead-up to her disappearance by Colin doesn't chime with the portrayal of her by the police, one which has been informed by their investigation and consultation with her family and friends. Given this, and the fact that Colin never reported her disappearance to police, it is easy to see how he became a suspect, but it is important to remember that despite his arrest, he has never been charged in her disappearance and has steadfastly maintained his innocence. Their children remained in his custody. Given this, it must be considered possible that a third party killed Marsha, possibly someone she was having an affair with if Colin's portrayal of her is accurate, or even a complete stranger. However, at the moment, there appears to be little hope of Marsha's case being resolved.